This one here. Ah, this is my favourite drawer. This is a variety of hammers. Right, muckers. Now, one of the most requested videos I get, and I've never really done because I couldn't really see the point of it, is a toolbox tour. Now, I've got 4 main toolboxes and then several toolkits that I take with me when I'm out and about, and especially things like the Will It Starts. But anyway, people keep asking me, so let's do this. Okay, well, let's start with this socket first. I bought this one originally. No, it's not going to be one of those sort of toolbox tours where they look at each individual. We're just going to have an overview of what I've got, why I have it. The other thing is as well, look, everything I've got is because it's stuff that I need or I wanted, all right? I'm not a big fanboy of any individual manufacturer or tool supplier. I use what I feel is best for my needs and also my requirements. And basically the tools I like. So there is no right and wrong. I know you'll get those that'll go, oh no, you know, you've got to have all snap-on. Well, you fucking don't. So simple as that. And I'll show you why I've got a mix of stuff and why I've chosen it. So let's start off with the main toolbox, the Teng toolbox. Now, this was bought from a guy that retired. He was a heavy goods mechanic. He retired, and I just bought the job lot off him. Since then, I've added to it. So let's start with the top box. Okay, so up here are all the markers for steel markers, scribes, pencils, stuff like that. There's also a old genuine jar of Vaseline, and that's for when the snap-on van turns up.
Well, bring out the gimp.
There's then various drill bits. We've then got various grinding and sharpening stones and stuff like that. Right, let's look in the first drawer. We have got grips and pliers and cutters and stuff like that. They're all in that side. But I'll show you other grips and pliers that I have in a bit. But anyway, middle one. Allen keys, hex keys, stuff like that, brass drifts, anything like that. Well, that all goes in here. There was a little magnet there, by the way. It's often a handy little thing to have. But anyway, knives and sharps. So all the Stanley knives, various ones, scrapers, Stanley blades, scissors for doing gaskets and stuff like that. That's all in here. There you go, plenty of those. So all the sharp stuff is in here. Right, first main drawer. We've got screwdrivers. Now in this toolbox, I've got the Teng stuff. So it's all genuine Teng stuff in here. We've got some Sealy screwdrivers here. Why? Well, because I actually quite like the Sealy screwdrivers, and they were on offer. And they are just very good value for money. Then you've got a variety of other screwdrivers in here. Second main drawer down, we have got all your chisels, punches and stuff like that. They're all in here. Plus 1 or 2 other little bits, a bit more precise, but we're never that precise. And in here, I can't even remember what I got. What have we got in here? Oh, right. Got various bits and whatever that are missing out of some little cheap kit, but, you know, there's stuff like that. Right, bottom drawer. Right, here's all the spanners, or wrenches, whatever you want to call them. Again, most of these are genuine Teng. Again, I like them. But some nice little stubbies, open-ended ones here. You know, open-ended rings you can get onto stuff when you're doing stuff like injectors and stuff like that. We've got both metric and imperial, or standard, if you're in the US. These are just the normal go-to ones, your 17s, 19s, metrics. Then in here, again, you'd want other metrics for backing up, doubling up on those. But like I said, most of these are Teng. What we've got in here is just an example. We've got some US Pro, though, as well. There's just an absolute variety in here. Again, these are all US Pro. These are all Teng. So, yeah. Like I said, I bought this as a complete unit with a lot of tools in it from a guy that had retired. And it was a top box and there was the main bottom box trolley. But I've also then added this centre box because it's quite handy. So let's have a look in here. Picks, mainly. They're quite handy when you need one. Just for getting out O-rings and stuff like that. But then we've got files. All sorts of files.
That's a mighty full sack you're carrying.
Piss off, you perverted old freak.
We've also got these little T-handled units with star ends on them and all stuff like that. They're actually quite handy. Right, and in the bottom box here, we've got junior hacksaw, various screwdrivers and whatever. They're all Teng, wire brush, clean and brush. And then in here, I remember buying this when I bought this bottom box. These Teng grips and pliers and that. And I'll be honest with you, they're about the best grips other than the Knipex stuff I've got. These grips and pliers are very, very good. So, as you can see, we don't stick to one brand or anything like that. We just go with whatever we like the look of, what we like to use, and what we think is either good value and good quality. Because there's a lot of cheap stuff out there. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's bad, but there are certain things which you need to be dependable, and you don't want to fail when you're working with it. So then you pay a little bit more, but we'll go into that a little bit later. Right, well, let's get on with the actual bottom trolley. Just before we do that, for those of you that have followed this channel for a while, you may remember this. This is the famous, was it carrots and peas filter that came out of that Fordson Major. Somebody had cut a filter in half and used this as the bottom of the filter, or the top. I can't remember. It was the top of the filter, wasn't it, I think? Anyway, it was ingenious. Okay, so we'll look at the top one first. Now, in here, I've got half-inch drive stuff, okay? These are brittle, and they are also impact, proof sockets and whatever. Just so you know, they're just 6-sided ones of that. People get so wrapped up with 6-sided and 12-sided. I've never had a problem with either. Various bars and whatever. And as I said, same old thing. I've got metric, I've got imperial, I've got some hex head bits for them as well. I've got some ratchets and breaker bars in here, and I've got other ratchets and breaker bars in my other toolboxes. But again, this is a Teng set, really nice set. All the ones you need. Again, these are metric. Now, in here, these Craftsman one, when I'm in the US, I always go and buy Craftsman stuff or whatever. People say, oh, that's cheap junk. But it's cheap. It isn't junk, and I've never broke one yet. And that is literally half the price that you would find the equivalent socket for here in the UK. Oh, plus the other thing that I like, I absolutely love these. You just twist them, put them on, and twist them, and then they're magnetic on the back. Absolutely love them. Like I said, whenever I'm in the US, I always go and buy a set. Right, this is the reality of it. Put them back in there where they belong, and that can go back there. Lovely. Right, well, that was all good. Right, without further ado, let's go to drawer number 2. So again, long impacts, 12-sided sockets. Now, these are Teng again, various breaker bars, various more, rails. And as I said, as I've been buying more of those push and twist ones from the US, I've been doing away with the normal slide rails. So we've got an extendable ratchet thing here. So Obviously, it just goes out like that, so you can see. Then you just lock it off there or whatever, and then just push it back in there, and so it locks there. Oh, you just put it away. He says, pull that. That's it. That's what you do. Pull that, and that slides down. Try to do this all one-handed for you. There we are. That's a handy bit of kit, like that. Again, what we got here, this is I don't know which one this is, what make it is, but anyway, it's handy enough. It's got a little swivel head on the top there, so that's quite good. And then you got this ratchet here. I don't know what make that is. Oh, it's a Teng. That's a Teng one, but I haven't really used that much, to be honest. There's a couple of, you always get a favourite. Well, in a minute, I'll show you one of my favourites again, because I've taken stuff out of here and put in other toolboxes that I use, more often. Ones I'm using out and about. And then you've got a variety of, you can go from like 3/4 down to 1/2 inch if you've got to give something some real stick. But I'll show you those in a minute. Right, let's go down to this one here. This is my favourite drawer. This is a variety of hammers. This is actually just a small selection. This is basically all I can fit in here. But you've got various ball peen hammers, you've got claw hammers, you've got sort of dolly hammers and whatever, for knocking stuff out, if you make a mess with things and bend things up like we often do. But for panel beating, stuff like that, where you use the dollies and, you've got dollies in the bottom drawer. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, that's kind of what you got there. But as I said, this is only the tip of the iceberg as far as my precision tools, hammers goes. Right. So we got in here, we got pry bars, like injector bars, that sort of stuff. We've got a magnifying glass, some clips. These are often handy when you want to just do an electrical test. You can make your own tester up quickly with things like that. But all my other bars, pry bars, which normally sit in here, are in the other toolbox and being used. Okay, now in this drawer there is all the good stuff. So we've got Stilsons, crowbars, we've got mole grips, as we call them, or vice grips, other grips here. In this box basically also is stuff like cut down spanners or short spanners or stuff that's been altered, and filter wrench here. It's quite good. Bigger files, There's just tons of stuff in here. But as I said, there is a lot of sort of specialist bits that have been cut about, and more files. There's been spanners that have been ground down and stuff like that. Well, that sort of stuff lives in here. Obviously more hammers there, just hidden up nicely under there. Yeah. Bottom one, you got various testers. Nice little blue point tester, that's handy, and other electrical testers and stuff like that. And then in here, he says, what we got in here? Let's just get it out and have a look. Right, in here, we have got tap and die set. So there we go. All right, and that's a nice set, that one. Now there we go. That is the main toolbox that I would use here. I have got other toolboxes as well in here, which have various other bits in. But as I said, this is the main one really. However, we then got toolboxes at the other shop, and we've also got daily loadout. So I've got my bag, you've seen that before, that Facom tool bag. I'll show you that in a minute. Plus we've got other toolboxes, top boxes, etc., which we can load in and out of vehicles, whatever we're gonna be taking, and for whatever job that we're doing. Right, so now we'll come to the other shop and show you what we have in this toolbox. Now, some of you may recognize this top box, as it was the one I had for my, what can you get for $500 type thing, or £500, whatever. Basically a start-off kit for, if you've just started in the industry or you're young and you want to get your own tool kit, just looking at what is available, sometimes new, sometimes second-hand. And I'll put a link to that video in the description box below this video. Also, make sure you hang around until the end of this video, because there will be a question and I'd like your opinion. So like I said, here we go. We've got a snap-on and all that. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, 30-year-old or something like that. What is it on here? It's older than that. Look, it's a 1990 box. So it's, like 34 years old. Anyway, that's what we've got here. It's bought second-hand. That was the whole point. This is when they were making decent boxes. Anyway, let's have a look in here. So, in the top here, basically hacksaws. We've got here, we've got a little old brittle set. That's an awesome little socket set, that is. Some Stilsons. Obviously some hammers. You need some hammers. Let's have a little look at this. Look in there, look. That's a beautiful little set. That's a set from like the 1960s, something like that. Anyway, now, just so you know, we're having some work done in here soon. So we've started emptying a lot of this. So it's got a lot of empty space because we're taking stuff out as we go. But I've left some of the main stuff in just to give you an idea of some of the other tools we have. So that's like an empty one here. If you look in the other video, as I said in the description box, you'll see all the stuff we had in here. But there we are. So you've got scrapers and hex keys and whatever. Now, these are a nice little set of cutters and pliers. I think they're the Sealy ones I had. Again, they were good start-off sets. That, they do the job, they do it well. And if you're starting out, you don't have to spend an absolute fortune on stuff to get going, especially if you haven't got the Vaseline. So, what we got now? Oh, yeah. It's that little pry bar. It's a handy bit of kit. I've got a second one of those I keep in my other toolbox. Middle drawer here. We just got some chisels and files and stuff like that. This one here. It's the old Barco adjustable spanner. You'll see more of that in a moment. But these things are fantastic. But as I said, they're very controversial, especially with people that don't know how to use them or can't afford a good one. But anyway, we'll look at that in a bit. This drawer here, I've got a selection of snap-on. Again, all second-hand snap-on that I picked up at, markets and whatever, or on like Facebook Marketplace, that sort of thing. And bought them cheap enough because they are good. Give snap-on their due. They can make a screwdriver. Then we've got in here, got some snap-on wrenches there, spanners. Again, same thing, boot fairs and whatever. And... stuff on people that are retiring and whatever. You can get them. This middle box, so I've got two middle boxes, as you'll see, but I don't tend to keep this one full because I normally have it set up over there with the top box. But anyway, just for this video, you can see. Now, these are my snap-on. Again, all second-hand. A guy had bought them and was retiring. So... they're still good money, don't get me wrong, but they were worth it, and they certainly weren't new money. I love these orange ones, these sort of raisin orange, and the green. Always wanted a set, so I bought them. But as I said, I didn't buy them new, that's for sure.
Bullshit.
Okay, let's get into this now. Right, these wrenches are Milwaukee, believe it or not. These are the metric set. I just really like that jaw system that they've got. It's really good. And I like the feel of them and the weight and everything. But there we go. So they're the metric set. You've got markers and whatever there. And then there's the imperial or standard set. which need a clean. Now, as far as keeping tools clean, because of the shop and everything, which is one of the reasons we're having some work done in here, is to eliminate or at least minimise the amount of dust we get. We do get a lot of dust.
Shit everywhere.
You know, every sort of few weeks, I do tend, if it's raining outside, we just do tend to just get a rag and go over and butt it. Look. That's what we have to put up with. But anyway, it's not a problem. At the end of the day, we can do that, and it's a nice little job to do in here, especially with the heater on. But yeah, dust is our biggest problem, and we're always sort of blowing stuff down. The trouble is you've got concrete floors. So that is one of the issues that we are going to address, hence why we're emptying these all out, so we can get some stuff done in here and hopefully make it a better place. But anyway, so again, obviously got some hammers, got all the hammers. But the Milwaukee wrench or spanner sets, I do rate them. I really do. They're nice to use. Again, personal preference. Now, this is where people go so wrong. Because, you know, the easiest thing to grab, turn, twist, undo, do up, whatever, is with a set of these grips. Because they're quick and easy, and they're every size you need. But people always go and get cheap sets. And that is where the difference between a cheap set of grips and pliers or cutters like that will make the difference. Because I've got a set. Let me show you something. Okay, so this is your cheap, generic set of grips. As I said, all they're meant to do is grab onto something and you twist it and you hope that it's going to move it the way you want it to behave. Unfortunately, these act like a switch. So they either work or they don't. They're on or they're off. That's it. And because of the way that they're put together, as I said, they're just done so that, you know, they do a job most of the while. But every time you put your weight on these, you're hoping and praying that they're not going to suddenly just give way, which they often do, and either split all your knuckles open or you end up on your knees on the floor, smack down on the concrete because they've let go. Whereas Knipex stuff, this is the real deal. And why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because these are actually engineered to do the job. And that doesn't matter whether they're these crank jaws here like that or they're straight jaws. I've got all the different types. They are properly engineered and designed and made to do the job that you bought them for. So, yes, these are a lot cheaper. But they'll fail. And then people will say, oh, these grips, they're no good. No, the cheap ones that you bought are no good. These are fantastic. And it doesn't matter what you've got with these. If it's got Knipex on it, they'll do the job they're designed and engineered to do, okay? Be that pliers, cutters, you know, various strippers and whatever, grips, all types of grips here, clamps. As I said, we've got all sorts, and this is just a small sample of what I've got. I absolutely love them. And it's one of those sort of things, you know, there's certain manufacturers and certain tools that are worth spending the money on because they're an investment, because you're never going to just chuck them away. These sort, you'll throw them. I guarantee you'll literally throw them because they'll have skinned your knuckles or something like that because they just let go all of a sudden. That came loose, or, you know, that's all come out under here, or the jaws have all just chewed up because you didn't pay much for them. They were cheap. This pair you paid decent money for, but they never let you down. All right? Seriously. And I'm not a brand person at all. Do you know what I mean? I will go on what something does, you know, how it performs. Well, I picked up a pair of these that my mate had years ago, and I just couldn't believe how much they grip. In fact, I'll show you something in a minute. Right, got them on the track right end here on the 7/8. Right, I've given them a little squeeze so they're on there. I have look, there's nothing, there's literally, there you are, my knee on the top there, putting the pressure on. And there you go, my other foot off the ground. There we go. That's the difference. I'm not even squeezing them. once I put them on, the way they're engineered and designed, they'll grip. So there you are. As I said, I'm definitely not like, go out and buy a brand. Go and buy the most expensive version of this, that, or the other you can get. But if you want it to do a job and do it well, then sometimes you have to invest. And the reason I say invest is because it's a piece of kit, of equipment, a tool that you're going to keep for life. You know, these other ones, you're like, oh, they did all right, then they slipped, and then all the jaws are worn up now and whatever, so I'm going to have to buy a new one. No, just buy right, buy it once, buy the right thing. And with the grips and the cutters and all that, that's where Knipex excel. They're just brilliant. And as I said, the nice thing is you call them what you like. You know, once you've paid your money, you can call them Knipex, Nipex. Doesn't matter, as long as you buy the right ones. And I'll show you more of them in a minute. Right, there's another set of Teng six-sided sockets in there, and an impact version and whatever. Breaker bar, always good having a decent breaker bar. I think this one's a snap-on. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing. Remember me saying about a ratchet, my favourite ratchet? Well, this is it. Yes, it is a snap-on, and it's one of the older ones. It's wonderful to use, just feels right, the weight is right, and whatever. But here's why this is special to me. Okay, it's not because it's snap-on. As I said, the quality's fantastic. It's the older snap-on stuff, which is always good stuff. But this was actually sent to me as a present from one of my followers, one of my viewers. And he said, look, mate, he said, I've got loads of snap-on stuff. You know, he's a professional mechanic. He said, and I'd like to send it to you. And I was like, you don't have to do that. He said, no, I enjoy your videos and I'd like to send this to you. And he did. And you know who you are, like I said. And that's why it's special to me. It actually means something. It's just, yeah. That is my favourite ratchet, not only because it really is nice to use, but the fact that, you know, someone appreciated what I do, and yeah, it's just, that is my favourite ratchet. And I think, yeah, down here, just got, we've been working on something. It's got a dead blow hammer and a chisel, because as I said, we've cleared a lot of this out already. And I think the rest are all, they are, or apart from the scraper. They're all empty because, as we said, this is all now going to be emptied out. And we are going to do some work in here on the floor and some other bits. And, you know, and try and improve it a little bit so we can work here more often, make it warmer, more secure, and, you know, also try and stop some of this dust. Right, other bits of kit. Now this beauty here, this is the tool you never knew that you needed until now. It's actually designed and built by Agco. That's right, as in Fendt, Massey, Valtra. And it's actually designed to get behind a PTO shaft. When you've been working with high horsepower units, quite often when you push the buttons, and even if you've greased it and whatever, just with the sheer, you know, power that's been going through that shaft and that coupling, you know, for hours, days, weeks often, like power harrows and stuff like that, you end up having to try and get a lever in there or tap it with a hammer because the thing just won't come off. They've designed this, and that just goes straight behind the PTO shaft, give it like that, and it pops it off and it pops. Not only that, they thought, well, there's other bits you might want to just go around. You have this in your tractor in the back. Go around and just tighten things up. 1/2-inch drive. Goes on there. So you can put sockets on. Just give it a little bit of that. This part here is definitely not a hammer. All right? Definitely not a hammer. But anyway, as I said, that's something that Agco have designed. And when you think, oh, you know, why would you have that? Well, because it's all designed properly and forged and whatever. And it is really, really handy. Right, day-to-day stuff. Let's get into this. Okay, so this is my Facom tool bag. It is absolutely wonderful because I can get most of the stuff I actually need when I'm out and about in there, right? you can carry it. That's the nice thing. You can carry it with a shoulder strap across ploughed fields, into woods, and where, you just can't access with a vehicle. And you're not lugging a great big old top box like John Candy. You can put everything in here that you need day to day. 99% of the stuff that I need can go in there. Now, what do we have? Again, just an absolute array of the Knipex stuff, all right? Again, as I said, that's where a lot of my stuff is in there. The grips and stuff like that. These are what I use just like every day because they work. We know that. Now these, with this parallel jaw, they're absolutely brilliant. And they've got this sort of quick jaw thing where you can press the button on the other side there. And that just does that. And then you can just slide it to wherever you want and it just locks in. Now, when I first saw these, I thought, what good are they really going to be? I tell you what, once you've had a set, they are one of those things you think, how have I managed without them? Absolutely brilliant. In fact, I've got 2 sets of these because they are that good. Right, we've got a variety of screwdrivers, hammer. Always got to have a hammer. More Knipex grips. Of course, these are the nice big set that you've seen earlier. Love these. Wire brushes, one of these quick change screwdrivers. I've got all the 3/8 up here. Some of it, again, is snap-on because I bought it when I bought the other stuff. That came in with it. With a ratchet as well, snap-on. That's a Britool ratchet. I think it's another snap-on. They've got these flexi head ones here, 3/8 and 1/2 inch, because I said we do run some 1/2 inch stuff as well. I'll show you that in a minute. So it's got a longer handle, little breaker bar there. Just a variety of wrenches, 1/2 inch, 13 mil, stuff like that for, undoing battery terminals and stuff like that. Another extension. Yes. Sometimes you just cannot get away from the quality of the older snap-on stuff. This is a specific tool, a 3/8 by Snap-on, and it is for Detroit diesels. It is to go over the pipes on the injectors inside the head so you can undo the nuts and get the jumper lines off. So that's what that is. It's a dedicated Detroit diesel tool. I got some Kent Moore stuff as well, which is dedicated for Detroit. But yeah. Oh, and then we've got the little multimeter. That's always handy, obviously, to see if you've got power, and then you can trace back any issues there. But there we go. I carry all this in that bag, and as I said, it does most of what I want day to day. If we know we're going to go out and do something that's specific and it'll need some sort of specific tools, then we'll take them with us, obviously. And that was bought for me by the Fudweasel. And yeah, he's got a couple of these. They're absolutely fantastic. So there we go. Now, before I put this away, the one thing I didn't show you. Again, another adjustable or crescent wrench or whatever they call them in the States. But same old thing as I said about the Knipex stuff. If you buy cheap ones of these, you put them on, and because they're cheap old monkey metal, as you apply more pressure, the jaws just open up. If you invest in decent ones, such as Barco, and I think these are the best, if you invest in these, you put them on, and you can even sort of measure what size you're putting it onto, like 15 or 13. You put it on, just give it a little tweak, put the pressure on, that will stay where it's meant to be. All right? Again, but they round nuts off and all that. If you've bought cheap crap, they do. And then you'll get all the shop fairies, those that actually never leave the workshop, with their heaters and lights and painted floors and their little knee pads and their, like £500,000 worth of snap-on tools and a big jar of Vaseline, so when the van comes round every time, they don't get bummed dry. But they obviously get charged for the Vaseline by the snap-on, but as you would. But they give it, I wouldn't use these. I would use the proper wrench, or I would use the proper socket. That's all very well in your little shop. The trouble is, when you're out in the field, sometimes you can't get to stuff, and you have to take tools with you. Hence, like I said, the old Facom tool bag. And then there's the situations like that I would find myself in the middle of the Sahara Desert in North Africa. And yeah, you couldn't take all your tools because you couldn't get there. and you'd have to hike with what you got to get to the equipment because there was sand everywhere. So you had to take what you could, and you took the best. So you couldn't take a full array of sockets and that. You'd take as many as you think you'd needed. You'd put them in your bag and in your pockets and wherever. But most of the time, your best mate was a good Barco adjustable because it would do most things. So it's not always practical to have your full tool chest and top box and everything with you when you're out in the field, you know. And those guys that work in the field, you'll know that. It's nice when you can get to it with your truck or whatever, but sometimes, as I said, you just got to hike out with what you have. And that's when tools like this, good tools, that's why they're worth investing in, right? As I said, stuff like the Knipex, stuff like the Barco adjustables and stuff like that, it's worth investing in because they will get you out of a muddle. Okay, so now let's talk power tools. Now, a lot of you will recognize this because I did a video on it some years back. It is my little Milwaukee 3/8 stubby impact wrench. And I absolutely love this thing. And so many people, since watching that video and talking to me, have gone out and bought these. Because they say, I can't believe, I got away with not using one for so long. Best thing I've ever done. Now, I even put one of these as a prize in the raffle with the Super Major. This was the second prize, which somebody won with the batteries and the charger and all that. Yeah, I do like my M12 stuff. Not a huge fan of the 18. The reason for that being that I find that the batteries, after a while, chatter loose and they sort of rattle, and then you lose power to them because, say, the batteries just seem to come loose. I don't know why. M12, I absolutely love it. For the power, that is, really, really good. Die grinders, as I said, grease guns. I've got polishers. I've got grinders, cutters, all sorts. Just all the stuff we've got with the Milwaukee. So why don't you see it on my channel very often? Well, that is quite simple. I love the stuff, as I said. I keep buying it. Really enjoy using it. It's great stuff. Prefer the M12 stuff, if I'm honest, because I think it gives more bang for your buck. And it's lighter and gets in places better. And I don't, find that there's issues. The batteries on the M12 don't seem to work loose where the M18s do. But basically, after I did my video on this a few years back, it was about 2019, 2020, something like that when I bought it. Milwaukee in the US reached out and said they really liked it and whatever, and put me in touch with the PR company who deal with Milwaukee here in the UK. And they said, we'd love you to review our stuff. We loved your open and honest review on the 3/8. We're going to send you the M18 impact gun, the impact wrench, and also grease gun, M18 one. Okay, fine. This was early 2020. They sent it. I was busy with other stuff. And a few weeks later, they said, oh, by the way, because they had assumed I'd done the video. They said, we'll need to look at that video and just say if we want anything changed or we want you to say anything additional or not say something. I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. You asked for an honest review. The same as I did when I did this, okay? No, well, you see, under the terms of everything, I said, whoa. If you want an honest review, I'll give you an honest review. But, muckers, as you all know, whether it's a fucking tractor, an excavator, piece of equipment, a tool or whatever, I'm going to use it. I'm going to see how it is, and I will give my honest review. Now, if it's really shonky shite, I'll just not interested. Not even going to entertain taking the time to film it. If it's good, I'll tell you about it, and I'll say, look, Mucks, if you're after, I don't know, one of these, get this one. I really like it. I suggest you look at that. But I will not be told what to do. I will not be told what to say, or have, my editing changed in any way. All right. So they were like, oh, well, no, that's part and parcel of the deal. No, clearly states that I had full editorial control. I will give you a full honest review. And why would I say anything bad? It's Milwaukee. I love the stuff. Oh, no, we can't. I said, do you know what? It's still all in the box. Send your courier and collect it and fuck off and don't darken my doorway again. And that's what we did. And that's why I will not show anything for any length of time, Milwaukee stuff on my channel. Simple as that. The stuff's great. The PR company in the UK that deal with them are shonky shite. Simple as that. Now, for the 18-volt impact stuff, I actually use DeWalt. And people go, oh, no, I use the Milwaukee. Again, it's personal preference, honestly. I like the Milwaukee impact, but I just prefer this. And then people will say, yeah, but then you've got 2 lots of chargers and this, that, and the other. It's not a problem. We've got 3 or 4 different makes of various power tools. So we've always got charger banks lined up. And for this, isn't a problem because we always used DeWalt stuff on the construction side, be it the saws and breakers and stuff like that. Always used DeWalt anyway. So we've got the batteries and chargers. So it's really not an issue to us. Now, at the other end of the scale, is Unilight. And I was contacted by them some time ago now, and they said, Muck, I love your content, whatever. We're going to send you some stuff and, let us know what you think. And I said, listen, appreciate that, but I'm certainly not one of these sort that literally gets something in the mail today, does a video in the afternoon saying, hey guys, just got this and it's absolutely fantastic. Because I don't know if it is really that good. It might break down or bust up in, a few days, a few hours, who knows? It might drop it and it just falls apart or it just fails to work or charge. I said, send the stuff, but I'm not going to do a review for 6 months. They were like, you what? I said, yeah, 6 months. If you believe in your product, you'll let me do that. Let me just use it day in and day out. If it's that good, I'll do your video. And if it's that good, I'll tell my followers. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. And they did. And so did I. And then you'll all know now, won't you? E.T.'s finger, as I call it. The IL925R. And they do a smaller one now. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I have got 4 of them now. I've got them in all different vehicles and whatever, in the workshop and toolboxes and stuff. Because I love this thing. I'll show you why.
Come on then, Plato. Enlighten me.
Right, if you're working on like an injector pump or something like that, or you want to see something behind and you want to get right, you can do that. And you can get right down in there, and then from underneath there, you can see where you are. The light's there. Or you can get right behind down in there, just past that bit there. Now, you can see down in there. Like I said, then you've got the normal type light, like that, so you can give yourself that. That'll stick on there, like that, and you can just turn it on to that one there, off that one there, onto that one there. You can bend it down there. I love it. Absolutely love these things. And again, the amount of people that said, Muck, I saw that, I bought one, and, that's what I like. But they were willing to not interfere with my videos or anything, let me say what I want to say, run it for 6 months, run it as if it's like a dozer. But you know what I mean? Use it for 6 months, and that shows confidence in your product, and it's paid off. As I said, it's brilliant. And since then, I've got other ones, smaller ones like this, bigger ones like that. No word of a lie. You put that on at night, and it just lights the whole yard up. It is fantastic. But they've got a whole range of products. Again, am I recommending that you at least have a look at their products? It's Unilight, as you say, you can see on there. Here we go, look. All right, Unilight. Am I saying they're worth looking at? Definitely. Am I saying they're worth buying? Yeah. If there's something on there you like, buy it. Oh, but Mucker, I've seen the same sort of thing, much cheaper. Do you remember the thing I told you about, the Knipex grips and the cheap shonky ones? Same sort of thing. Yeah, you go ahead and buy the cheap one. But when it fails, when it doesn't... Now, a few of you will also remember that the smaller version of this, I was having a flash up one night in a big oil drum, getting rid of some old sort of timber and cardboard and stuff, and it was dark at night, and I was just making sure everything was good, and I dropped it. It literally went into the fire, and I was able just to grab the steel rod that I was poking the fire with and hook it out. Still works. Didn't melt. It was just all grey and covered in soot. Now, as I said, that's something special. That's something that will give you the confidence to buy other products. And I have done, as I said. So That is the other end of the scale, when you get a good company that believes in their product and they just say, yeah, go ahead, give us an honest review. That is why, as I said, for flashlights, torches and work lights, I do use Unilight. Just quickly, Muckers, this is the actual light in question that I'm telling you about in the video. Like I said, it's got a bit of ash and soot on it still, but there we are. By the way, if any of you want to go and look at the Unilight site, and if you want any products off there, I've got a 25% off discount code that I've organised with Unilight, all right? I'll put the link in the description box below this video once it's finished. But you can put in there, I think the code is Lord Muck, and any of the products on the Unilight site, you will get 25% off, and that includes ET's finger, because this thing is incredible. Day to day, to grab a 1/2-inch socket set, I use this one, which is a Halford set. I've had it years, and it's never let me down. Lifetime guarantee on all the bits. So again, what's not to like? But yeah, they make them for other people. Whoever make these, make them for other people as well. I think Draper and the likes of that, and Clark and people like that. But as I said, Halfords do really good deals throughout the year, so you can often grab yourself a bargain, but they've never let me down. And we even use the bigger sets up here in the workshop because, like I said, for the money, you cannot fault them. So there we go, Muckers. That is essentially that. I mean, we've got 3 other toolboxes, top boxes, chests and whatever, trolleys, various workstation trolleys. We've got another top box that I run as well in the truck. But day to day is that tool bag, as I said, and then we just load up these as and when we want them. But yeah, as I said, once we've got everything done in here, we'll have more of these back in here. And then we'll, kit them out as to what we need for the jobs we're doing. The thing is, though, we have to have a lot more tools than most because we work on really old stuff, which means we'll be using Imperial or Standard and Whitworth sometimes as well. And then we've got some more modern stuff, which is metric. So, it'd be nice just to run all metric or all Imperial. But as I said, that's the type and variety and range of stuff we work on. That's just not possible. But anyway, like I said, the question that I'd like to know from you lot is there a tool, one tool, that's where it's difficult now, not 10 or 3 or the best, is there one tool that you really couldn't do without? Now, the other side of that, I'm going to give you an option there. Is there one tool that you think I need to buy? Because in your experience, you've found it's brilliant. It doesn't matter what brand it is or whatever. You think, look, Mucker, you should have one of these in your toolbox. Put your answers in the old squid pit below in the old comment section, right? And let me know. There's either a tool that you've found has been, invaluable throughout the years, or there's a tool that you think I should get for the toolbox. As I said, put your answers in the old in the squid pit below. But don't forget to give the video a like, the old thumbs up, because it does help us tremendously. It doesn't cost you a penny to do. But as I said, it does help us with the videos, doesn't it? Eh? Oh, yes, yes, yes. So, until the next one, do well.